Read out. Oh, sorry. Just one more question.
Aliens
One
would
more
be cool.
question. Read out. What, in your opinion, is the movie most accurate to the Pacific Front of World War II? Then we can talk about my question on the holster.
That's a good question, and honestly, I've not watched enough Pacific-centered movies to give a valid answer. I mentioned that Roland Emmerich's Midway is really good. That being said, I'm not a fan of. I understand they use a lot of CGI, and most of the CGI is fine, but some of it you can. Some of the big establishment stocks, you can just go, "Wow, what a lovely computer-generated image!" When I can just look at the real Midway footage that was actually shot because they made sure. I think was it Henry? What was it? The film director Ford. I think they actually put him on Midway Island because the U.S. Navy knew something was about to happen there. They wanted to document what was about to happen. But that movie's good. But Tora. I
All
can't
right.
say anything more about Tora. And I know you're probably looking for more about the island hopping. You know what? I just thought of one. Letters from Iwo Jima.
Yeah,
That
that
one's
was, that was
fantastic.
one. Yeah, that was one.
I
I was
missed
about
that
to bring
one.
that up. But let me be specific then. When I think specific, I'm thinking Namking. Uh,
Hold up,
uh,
Readout. Are you telling me Kong Skull
damn it.
Island is not historically accurate?
Actually, it's the
No,
most
it's not.
historically accurate film ever made. What are you talking about? But no,
I was,
Eastwood actually did a double feature, which is impressive that he got the funding for both of it. But it's also
Sounds
Clint
about
Eastwood.
right.
Yeah, he did Letters from Iwo Jima and Flags of Our Fathers. His idea was he wanted to do a complete overview of the Battle of Iwo Jima, but tell it from both perspectives. Well, everybody went in thinking Flags of Our Fathers was going to be the hit with the American audience because, well, it's about the flag raising. Flags of Our Fathers got a few problems, especially because the person who the story is based upon has since been discovered was not one of the individuals that raised the flag in the photograph. And it's not that he was lying about his account, but there are multiple flag raisings that day, and they got the wires crossed. But everybody was surprised. Letters from Iwo Jima completely outdid Flags of Our Fathers at the American box office, and the movie is almost entirely in Japanese.
Well,
So
that's
yeah.
because it was the first movie to put it through the Japanese perspective, and it was fairly historically correct.
I again, I'm not the most. I know the broad strokes of World War II, but when I watched it in the research I've done for a cinematic portrayal of that battle, it's pretty darn on point, and it's
Hey.
pretty darn gone brutal.
Have y'all not watched that historical documentary movie that takes place after World War II in Japan called Godzilla?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Godzilla!
no, but
Andrew
read out.
Campbell
Read out.
says Kokida 2006 is a great Australian World War II
Ooh, I
movie.
have to put that on the list.
Read out.
Australians and Canadians were insane during World War II. And Australia had the worst of it because they were dealing with the Japanese long before we stepped in.
Yep. Which
We didn't really
that's
step in. We had a fucking.
Well,
Pearl
no,
Harbor
we
happens.
kind of were forced in. But, I mean, they were
Like literally drop
hanging on to
bombs
the
on our
islands
territory.
for dear life.
What was it? Readout that got us in World War One. Wasn't it they?
Oh,
shot?
World War One. I've ever talking about World War II. World War One was what got. What do you mean? What got the United States in ultimately?
Yeah, I know it was also the communication to Mexico.
That was the last straw. That was the last straw. I mean, there was a large buildup. I mean, the sinking of Lusitania, although that's overrated. It didn't actually get us into World War One, but it definitely put people on edge. It definitely got people going, wait a minute, there's this big little thing occurring in Europe that we can't ignore any longer. It was the Zimmerman telegraph. British intelligence intercepted a telegram that was going from Germany to Mexico, and basically it was Germany trying to get Mexico to continue. You have to remember too, Mexico was going through a revolution at the time, which everybody forgets about, and I would love to see a movie about. Like, if the United States wants to focus on great subject matter, the Mexican Revolution, the
Which
United
one?
the one. Yeah, Pancha Villa. The United States got a bunch of troops together in 1916, and after Pancha Villa had raided a New Mexico town, they actually went into Mexico and chased him. So Germany was trying to convince Mexico, like, hey, the United States are already putting guns against you. They already just invaded you in an isolated manner. Maybe you should team up with us, and we'll provide you security. And once the United States heard that, that was enough. Also, Woodrow Wilson went completely against his back. Remember, he ran on the ticket of, I will not get us involved in a world war.
Yeah.
Sounds like a politician.
A few years later. Remember about that not getting into a world war? Well, now we have to get in a world war because I am God.
Yeah. That's usually how it
You know,
works.
Sounds like
You
Joe
know-
Biden. I'm not
Biden's gonna do the same thing.
yeah,
They all did the same thing.
read out. On one hand, fuck Woodrow Wilson. On the other hand, it's a good thing you guys got your feet wet and going into the killing field. So,
Yes, you directly read out. You were that old. You were over 100 years old.
Sometimes I feel it.
Well, but here's the thing, though. Because of the fact that World War I was basically a war of attrition, both sides were in a complete deadlock. When U.S. joined in, it ended less than a year later because we were supplying fresh troops ready for battle, where everybody else had completely lost an entire generation and was in a stalemate.
Hey, read out.
Yeah.
Explain to us why World War I happened in the first place and our solution at the end of it.
no, we do not need to
It was a
learn
bunch
that.
of second cousins fighting. That was literally what it
That.
was.
Listen,
I know,
Every
but
leader
what
involved
culminated?
in World War
Every
There's a shot heard
nation
around the
in
world,
Europe
wasn't
didn't
it?
go to
The-
war against each other.
The shot heard
Okay,
around the world. I thought it was when the
specifically caused that.
death of the Tsar.
whoa. Read out. I have a solution. There was a solution these guys could have done that would have saved millions of lives.
I don't know.
And millions of lives if they, instead of butchering each other in the fields. Ready for this? Here goes. Who was that guy that shot the Duke from again?
Oh, look,
I don't remember off the top of
my
head.
brain is fried, and everybody's
Okay, perfect.
This is how they
Well,
debunk
whoever
me
that
now.
country, wherever that country he originated from, maybe
Austria.
all those big European
Austria, yeah.
powers, what they should have done is focus all of that aggression and hatred into that specific country, and then that country doesn't exist anymore.
Here's the
They got
problem
out of
with
the
that.
system,
Going.
and everybody else is okay.
Everybody was related at the time. All the world leaders, except for the U.S., like the entire European thing, were all
Jumanji,
second
also all the
cousins.
It's a
countries
family
kept having
tree.
defense pacts with each other, and one invade the other.
Well, that war was
And
actually
this is something new.
it kind of ended that whole monarchical classical type of rule, like the old empires. Ottoman Empire was pretty much ruling up until that time recently too, during World War One, right?
Yeah,
That's a
but
great
Russia was
furniture store, by the
yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Point
Yeah.
is, after World War One, it became more republics, democracy, and less like United Kingdom
gay.
was the last one that was more just kingdom like based. But even then, they switched to more democratic
Parliament,
approach to
yeah.
government. Yeah.
So, Trippy, what you're saying is the world became shittier and more garbage, and here we are now. Thank
That's
you.
your subjective take. You see, this is your perspective on the world. You always say these things just because you're in a negative point of view. I don't see the world this way like you. You say, guys, do you think the world's a pretty shitty place to live? You just hate this
It
place. You
has
think
its moments.
horrible,
I don't.
horrible,
I might,
horrible suffering hell.
Yes.
I might be making some
Here's-
assumptions here, but I don't think Crow always has a negative point of view. I do think it's
need to balance that out.
facetious.
It's called
Here's
a
the
field.
thing.
Nothing's all
Adams
light.
County,
Nothing's
Pennsylvania
all
got
dark.
some
There's
wonderful
light and
apple
dark there.
orchards. Adams County, Pennsylvania is also where 7,000 Americans died in the bloodiest battle of the American Civil War. But just saying.
And you have a furry convention, which is kind of fucking.
No, that's
You
the
see,
Allegheny
that's-
County.
I live in
Burn
one
it.
of the most
Burn
beautiful
it down.
states in
Burn
the
it down.
country, but it sucks politically. I mean,
It always sucks.
you got it. Depends on how you look at it.
Oh, by the way, read out. You posted a link in the private chat. I opened it up, the YouTube video. Is that something you wanted shared on screen that you wanted to address?
If you want to, we mentioned earlier about there was a documentary made by the actress who was originally supposed to be in The Woman King, and then she figured out what it's about, and she's like, I'm going to go do my own research
Hell no.
Yes.
because this is a fascinating story. but it's
But-
not going to be told right.
But-
So this was the result of it.
Hey,
Well,
what
don't
happened
do
to
that.
that
Watch it, it's like
Cleopatra
50 minutes.
documentary?
My what document? What the what
The
documentary?
Cleopatra one. What happened to that one?
It became
Oh.
shitty.
pirated.
Everyone forgot about it. I didn't even see
No,
it.
Egypt sued the Netflix's ass
They
off
did.
and won.
They did.
Nice.
Well, Egypt sued them in their own courts and won.
No, I think they sued him in our courts for inaccurate documentaries.
There we
I'll
go.
look into that. I never saw the outcome of all that stuff.
So yeah, instead of blowing money to see a completely inaccurate warping of history, you can just watch this 46-minute documentary that is going to leave you far more informed.
Did she fundraise this?
I truthfully don't know how much involvement she had in it. I know she was passionate about it. She gave interviews that like, this is the course of action I wanted to take. So I don't know how much truthful involvement, if she was just brought in as the narrator or that no, she like actually funded this. But in either case, she chose wisely.
Amazon.
There we go.
I just dropped a link in both the Rumble and YouTube chats for anyone who wants to go check that out. This is CECOW on YouTube.
I don't think
Video
they're being
title
happy.
Warrior
I'll believe
Woman
them.
with Lupita Nyong'o. Did I get it right?
Yeah, you got it.
I
It's
can
not the
barely speak a
official
sentence to
release,
save my life, and I
but
said her name right
we're
first
also-
try. Holy
I'm a
You looked
college
up.
student, so I'm not
Fluke.
going to use the official release. If it's free on YouTube, hey, it's free on YouTube for the time being.
You know,
Copyright
okay. I have to leave because I am tired,
Oh,
but
no.
I want to. I'm sorry. I know.
Now
you
make
all
sure to
love me,
land the
But
weekly Linged action chopper. You don't want to parachute out of that. We don't want to have a wreck.
Hey,
You
Frequency,
understand.
we were
Yeah,
talking
parachutes
about
and
Yeah.
choppers
World
don't
War
go
II.
well. What was that,
did the
Billy?
Jews use? What weapon did they use?
Oh, you want to know about the weapon?
Yeah.
Not only will I show you the weapon, I will show you the effects.
Jewish
it was
space
dangerous.
lasers.
Where's the button?
Is that historically
Good effect on
accurate
target.
readout in World War II?
Not World War II, but
World War
maybe
III.
for that time that the Klingons fought the Russians.
Oh, no. I thought that was World War II. That's why Hitler had to retreat to his base on the moon.
That would explain a lot, actually.
you know, before I leave, I want
Oppenheimer
to.
Was that
Space
before or
lasers.
after he battled Wolfenstein?